Where is it?
What, the body?
The phone. What body?
But there's no body. There's nobody in the study. No.
No.
Oh, would you be kind enough to wait in the library?
Down the hall! So it was you. I was going to expose you.
And the doorbell rang, and it was Mrs. White, looking pale and tragic. The game's up, Scarlett. There are no more bullets left in that gun.
Oh, come on, you're not going to fall for that old trick.
It's not a trick. There was one shot of Mr.
Much of a man, but a lot of day, but not aware of a lover. I'm just a sweet man.
On the night of August 26, 2026, police responded to a medical emergency in the Hollywood Hills. Shortly after, the news broke. Tim Curry had passed away at his Los Angeles home at the age of 80. When a performer reaches that age, obituaries usually scramble to summarize a massive, varied body of work. But for Curry, almost everyone immediately pictured the exact same face: arched eyebrows, a severe corset, and the wicked, magnetic smirk of Dr. Frank-N-Furter. The Rocky Horror Picture Show actually flopped when it hit theaters in 1975. But rather than fading away, the movie morphed into a live, interactive event. 50 years later, in 2025, the film was still playing in theaters, sustained by midnight crowds that turned a passive viewing experience into a ritual. In Hollywood, originating a character that massive usually acts like a black hole. The sheer gravitational pull of a single iconic role traps the actor, ending their versatility and turning them into a walking novelty. The character swallows them whole, but Curry refused to stay trapped in that orbit. He recognized the cultural weight of Frank-N-Furter, but he never let the character dictate the boundaries of what he could do next. He took the same high-energy risk-taking he brought to the Transylvanian scientist and applied it to everything from Shakespeare to slapstick, ensuring that no single costume ever dictated the terms of his career. That instinct for pushing boundaries started on the stage. In 1968, Curry broke into professional theater in London's West End, landing a role in the original London production of Hair, a rock musical that captivated audiences with its portrayal of counterculture and anti-war politics. He quickly proved he could harness that same stage energy for pure comedy. In 1985, he anchored the ensemble cast of Clue, playing Wadsworth the butler with a manic, deadpan exhaustion that turned a board game adaptation into a permanent cult favorite. And then he proved he could generate visceral terror. As Pennywise in the 1990 miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's It, Curry created a nightmare so enduring that for millions of viewers, his performance remains the definitive version of the character. While he was dominating the screen, he maintained a highly prestigious stage career. He earned 3 Tony Award nominations over the decades, leading classical and comedic productions, ranging from Amadeus to Monty Python's Spamalot. Across all these genres, he relied on a distinct set of tools. You always knew you were watching Tim Curry. He commanded scenes with those sharp, arched eyebrows, an unmistakable booming baritone voice, and a relentless physical energy that seemed to bounce off the walls. By treating every role with that same level of theatrical excess, Curry built an ecosystem of extreme characters. He established himself as a shapeshifter who dominated the screen through constant kinetic motion. In 2012, that constant motion stopped. Curry suffered a massive stroke that required emergency brain surgery. The medical trauma exacted a severe physical toll. He survived, but the stroke permanently removed his ability to walk. For an actor who had spent 40 years dancing in heels, sprinting through mansion hallways in Clue, and physically towering over his co-stars, it was a stark loss of mobility. But he refused to hide. Instead of retreating from public view, he continued to make select appearances, greeting fans and appearing on red carpets from his wheelchair. When his body could no longer perform on camera, he pivoted. He channeled his remaining creative energy into prolific voice acting and audiobook narration, utilizing that famous baritone voice to keep working. By the time he released his memoir in 2025, Curry had spent over a decade proving that a chair could not diminish his presence. He remained a working actor, showing that his career was built on something far more durable than just physical stamina. In 2025, his memoir, Vagabond, allowed him to reclaim agency over his life story. It gave him the opportunity to reflect on his career in his own words before the world began summarizing it for him. In his final interviews, he spoke candidly about his own mortality. He recalled his father, a Navy chaplain who had also suffered a severe stroke when Tim was just 10 years old, and how that early loss shaped his worldview. When asked directly about death, he was remarkably calm. He described not fearing it, but rather viewing eternal rest as a state to be peacefully earned after a long journey. He finally found that rest on August 26th. His passing arrived exactly one day after the death of Dolly Parton, compounding the sense of loss for a public suddenly mourning two icons of a distinct era of entertainment. But he leaves behind a fiercely devoted community. For generations of marginalized audiences, his performance as Frank-N-Furter provided the permission to be unapologetically themselves. Tim Curry leaves behind two distinct legacies. One is the cinematic rebel in fishnets, destined to live forever on midnight screens. The other is the man who met his own physical decline with the same unwavering composure he brought to the stage for 60 years.